If you want to lower blood pressure naturally, you really need to work on correcting the underlying cause of that elevated blood pressure for you. And that cause can be different from person to person. So if you haven't already watched our video on 3 underlying causes for high blood pressure, go down to the description below right now and click on that link and watch that video first so you understand those underlying causes and can get a better idea of what may be causing your blood pressure to go too high. Then in this video, we'll talk about the simple steps you can take to correct those underlying causes. I'm even going to give you a super easy thing that you can do while you're watching this video. So you don't want to miss this.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
Now in the video where we talked about the 3 underlying causes for high blood pressure, we talked about how it's really common to see high blood pressure when somebody's having kidney disease or kidney issues or their kidneys aren't working correctly because the kidneys can't filter out that junk. And it's really common for the kidneys to get overwhelmed when bile is not flowing correctly. When the body can't detox the way that it wants to detox, it's going to say to the kidneys, hey, why don't you help out? And then the kidneys are taking out all this trash that they're not supposed to take out, and they get overwhelmed and don't work as well. But we're going to get to the bile flow in a second, but even when bile is flowing correctly, the kidneys still need some water to help them wash this junk out. So this step number 1 to lower blood pressure is going to be a specific water drinking trick that I'm going to tell you how to do. That's going to be really easy, but just know that for the kidneys to function, they need water. They need water to help them wash this junk out. So a person needs to be bringing in water to allow the kidneys to function. So if your blood pressure is high, just know that you can stand to drink more water. That water is going to help flush some junk out. And a lot of people may say, I don't really like water. And you have to ask yourself, hey, do I like to be alive? I don't know if you've heard about this high blood pressure thing. It can be a pretty big problem. So just know that you can do this. Just tell yourself, hey, self, I'm not in the 8th grade anymore. I'm an adult. I'm going to find a way to drink some water. So get some water into the system, and you really want pure, clean water. So coffee is not water because it has water in it. Soda is not water because it has water in it. Water is water. So just find a way to get some water in there so that you can help the body function the way that it's supposed to function. We hear all the time that the body is like 60 or 70% water, and yeah, I know there's some people that are like, oh, it's 99% water if you calculate it this way, and just whatever. The body is a lot water, so it makes sense that we need to put some water in there so that the body can regenerate and function the way that it needs to function. So here's trick number 1. This works really great even if somebody doesn't like water. What you want to do is the first thing when you wake up, you want to drink a really large glass of water, like 12 or 16 ounces, or maybe even more if you can do it. And you want to do this first thing in the morning because then that water can go towards cleaning the system out. It's not going towards helping digestion and doing all these other functions that the body does during the day and uses water for. If you drink this large glass of water right when you wake up, it'll just go towards cleaning the system out. And that can help wash out some of that junk that's thickening up the blood and raising the blood pressure. So even if you hate drinking water, you can just view this like, this is my workout. I'm going to put on the Rocky music and I'm going to down this water and I'm going to count that as my workout for the day. And for some people, this can be more effective than any type of workout that they might do. So just put that 12 to 16 ounce glass of water right by your bed so it's there when you wake up and you remember, and drink that first thing in the morning, and I think you might be surprised at how quick your blood pressure can come down. Step number 2 is to improve bile flow, and this seems to be the most crucial step for the largest percentage of people. And it makes sense because how are you going to lower blood pressure if the body can't get rid of filth and toxins? If all that junk is accumulating and thickening up the blood, how are you going to lower that blood pressure? So improving bile flow is really a big deal for a lot of people, and it can be so effective that at the end of this video, we're going to have to talk about steps to take if you lower your blood pressure too much, too quickly. And I see this with a lot of clients. So just know that this can be a really big deal. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a step to put 5 steps in motion to help you thin that bile out and get it flowing the way that it should. Step number 3 is to bring down your fasting blood sugar number. So if you test your fasting blood sugar and it's over 100, that really needs to come down to have any chance of really getting your blood pressure down. So we do that by reducing the carbs and sugars, and especially liquid sugars that we're consuming. And that doesn't mean that you can never have a carb. That can be very difficult for some people to do. But you can change the types of carbs that you're eating, and then you can change the timing a little bit, and you can cycle those carbs into the day in a way that allows that blood sugar to come down and allows insulin to come down. Now, if you're having really bad carb cravings, you may have some digestive malfunctions that are restricting your ability to access nutrients in either proteins or fats. So the body's kind of just screaming for, give me these carbs that are really easy to break down and get fuel out of. And if you're leaning too far insulin resistant and the cells are not receptive to glucose and not able to use glucose correctly, then those cravings can be magnified even more. So my book, Kick Your Fat in the Nuts, can kind of walk you through how to figure out, are there digestive malfunctions? And if so, what steps can I take to correct those? And also help you figure out if you may be leaning too far on that insulin resistant side. So the book is available on Amazon, but I'm going to put a link in the description below this video so you can get the whole thing for free. And you can get it totally for free, and that'll help walk you through that. And if you hate to read, we also have a totally free digestion course that'll walk you through those same steps, and I'll put the link to that below this video as well. But the first step is to take a lot of these high carb foods that you might be eating, like breads and pastas and rice and processed junk food and all those things, and trade them in for what we call medium carb foods. So they're foods that contain enough carbs that allow your body to easily turn that into fuel, and it gives you enough carbs to keep the crazy cravings from coming on, but they're not carbs that are so high that they create this huge spike in blood sugar and insulin, and leave that insulin really high for a long period of the day. So foods like, sweet potatoes or butternut squash or yams and Brussels sprouts, these are like real food. I know you've heard about this real food stuff, but if you can make it where you eat some of this stuff, it's going to help this situation a whole lot. And then what else you can do is you can cycle the carbs into your day. So while you're sleeping, you're not eating any carbs, and it actually gives a chance for insulin to come down to a low level. And now the insulin is not screaming at your cells all day and making you more insulin resistant. So what you can do is you can cycle your carbs, and maybe you only eat carbs at just breakfast or just dinner. And what that does is it extends that window of time overnight when you're sleeping that insulin can come down, and it extends it into the day as well. So it extends it through breakfast and lunch, so insulin can stay low longer. Or if you have your carbs in the morning, that window can start at lunch and dinner and extend through the time that you're sleeping. So when you can cycle those carbs, it allows you to have some carbs, but still get the results that you want by lowering the carbs and bringing insulin levels down. Because keep in mind that as long as that blood sugar is high, that sugar is thickening up your blood and raising your blood pressure. And as long as that sugar is high, it's also keeping insulin high, which insulin can raise blood pressure with its own problems. So you really want to get that blood sugar down. And step number 4 is to simmer down now. Remember, we want to try to relax a little bit and pull our body out of that sympathetic fight or flight state. Because when the body is stuck in that fight or flight state, it constricts the vascular system, and that's going to raise the pressure needed to push blood through the system. So we want to find a way to relax a little bit. And this doesn't mean that you need to remove all the stress from your life. That can be impossible in some situations. But what you can do is you can remove a stress from your life. So figure out something that you can remove that's going to reduce a little bit of stress from your life, and just count that as the first step. Now you're taking steps to reduce the stress and the amount that you're pushing yourself into this fight or flight state. The next thing you want to do is you want to reduce any stress that the body may be dealing with that's causing you to push into this fight or flight state. So the book or the free course that I talked about can help you figure out, are you having some type of digestive infection or overgrowth going on that's causing the body to kind of put more focus on dealing with this invader. That can really stress the body out. So if you're having some type of infection or chronic infection or some type of digestive infection, you want to take steps to take care of that, to reduce that stress from the body. Then all you got to do is watch that pulse pressure that we talked about figuring out by taking the systolic blood pressure number and then subtracting the diastolic blood pressure number, and that gives you your pulse pressure. And if you start seeing that number go lower and lower and go below 46, you know that you're really moving out of that sympathetic fight or flight state. So as you're taking all these steps that we're talking about, you can watch that pulse pressure number and seeing if it's moving in the right direction. Then you know if you're doing the right things or if you might need to take some other steps as well. Now, there's also supplements that a person can use that can help lower blood pressure a little bit, things like taurine or tocotrienols, but you really want to know where your body chemistry is before you start using supplements that can push the body in another direction. So my book helps you run simple self-tests at home that give you an idea where your body chemistry is and can help you figure out which supplements that can lower blood pressure are also not going to cause other problems for you, because that's going to be different for every person, and you really have to look at your bio-individuality to be able to figure that out. Now, the last really important thing we need to talk about is that if you're using blood pressure lowering medications, you need to understand that these medications are not designed to balance blood pressure. They're designed to lower blood pressure. Wherever it is, they're designed to make it go lower. So if you take natural steps to lower your blood pressure naturally, if it was up here and the medications were bringing it down to here, if you naturally bring your blood pressure down to here, then the medications are going to force them down to here. So the medications may cause the blood pressure to go too low and create problems. Now, understand, in no way am I telling you to stop taking your medications. You don't want to do that without talking to your doctor and having your doctor help you do that. But understand that low blood pressure can cause symptoms like dizzy spells and major depression and major cravings. So you don't want to get dizzy and fall over and hit your head and really hurt yourself. So you want to watch your blood pressure as you take these steps and see, does it come down? And if it starts to go too low, then you want to talk to your doctor about, hey, how can I lower this medication dose to help me bring my blood pressure into a good range? It seems to be going too low now. And you'll have to talk to your doctor to figure that stuff out. But it's important to just keep an eye on where your blood pressure is, because some of these steps can really bring it down fast and you don't want it to go too low. Okay, for now, we need to look into that most important step, which is to thin the bile so that it can flow better and the body can take out the trash and remove all these filth and junk that's thickening up the bloodstream right now. So jump over right now and watch our video on 5 steps to thin bile so you can get insights on steps that you can get going right away to get that bile flowing and get that blood pressure down. I can't wait to hear about your results.